Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. I'm thrilled to have this phenomenal, world-renowned drummer as our guest today. He has played in the Winter Olympics, the Warped Tour, and on the stages of Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center. He was featured on TRL, The View, and Today Show, and as of this recording, his videos on YouTube have been viewed over 650,000 times, and his TikToking views have been viewed 2.2 million times. So please help me welcome DRMAGDN.
Woo! What up, man? How's it going, Jake? You good?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Today is literally the release day for my new single, Not Alone, and I'm stoked to be on here. And it's kind of a premiere, so this is going to be amazing. Really, thank you for having me, man. Stoked.
You're so welcome. I totally enjoyed Not Alone. It was one of my favorite tracks of the year. Really, before we got on air, I told you how badly of a great workout song and a motivational song it was.
Yes, it is. It's all about community. It's all about love. It's all about, all the people that got me through the last 3 years of craziness and the past year of the whole shutdown, which hit everybody, so it's really good. It's a really positive, happy song. It reminds me of Wake Me Up by Avicii or Without You by Usher and David Guetta, those kind of tracks. And it's just a really positive, happy one. And as of today, I just found out that I'm featured in American Songwriter magazine right on the front page, along with Alan Jackson, Benny Blanco, and Nile Rodgers. So that just went out.
I gotta say, good for you. Good on you. And American Songwriter is a top magazine regarding the music industry, guys. So just to let you know. So I want to know, how did you get your stage name, DRMAGDN?
DRMAGDN. So I actually did a series of YouTube videos back in the day. My buddy owned a studio in Brooklyn. And it had this amazing rooftop that you could see the New York skyline, but it was really gritty. It felt like it was a cyberpunk dystopian future kind of a building, graffiti everywhere. It was really cool. His studio was on the third floor and, just sitting there, recording there a bunch. And I was like, you know what? Let me see the roof. I saw the roof. I was like, I got to play this building. I got to do a drum solo up the building in one take. I got to do something crazy. And I named it DRMAGDN spelled out. And it went viral. I did another video all across Times Square in one take. I did another video battling myself at the Queen's Unisphere, the big globe you see in Men in Black. And all those went viral. And then I realized as I'm doing my own solo stuff and writing my own music and producing and music directing all the other artists, I realized that I was DRMAGDN, and I truncated it shorter. DRMAGDN is how I actually spell it, to be a little bit more in the lines of Skrillex, Avicii, with the that Rehab, that kind of cyberpunky, futuristic drummer DJ kind of a thing. That's how I did it. Absolutely.
So I want to know your origin story. So when did you get interested in music, and how did that passion evolve into desire to pursuing a career in the recording industry?
Yeah, I was a kid and I was into literally everything, period, across the board. I did band, I did jazz band, I did, indoor percussion, I did chorus, I did, music theory, all that stuff. At the age of 7, and then 7 to 12, I kind of just, toned the water a bit. I became the best drummer in my school. Then I became the best drummer in the, middle school, and then in high school, and then in college. And then I was like, you know what? I might be able to really do this. And it was when I was in college and I studied really hard. I actually got into NYU for grad school in jazz drum set performance.
Wow.
Didn't go because it was too expensive, even with the full scholarship. So I wound up just, going pro at that point, and I never looked back.
Awesome. I got to say, education matters, and I think that you took your mastery and showed your craft and done incredible things. I was looking, while I do my research, I was looking at the stuff that you had, and I'm like, you played at the Winter Olympics, Lollapalooza, Warped Tour. You played on various venues such as Lincoln Center and Carnegie Hall. So as a performer, what does it mean to perform at these world-renowned events? and on these legendary stages.
I mean, and I'll tell you too. So these are the kinds of moments. I want to say, let's see. I'll give you two quick stories that are really interesting. The first one is I remember getting the call to do MetLife Stadium sold out, which is Giant Stadium, halftime show, and I remember getting the call like a week or two before. It was kind of a last minute thing, and I jumped on, and I remember being wheeled out to the 50-yard line on a 25-foot riser. I had to duck into the hallway to get out. And the thing is, I'm the drummer, and I was already on the riser because I couldn't climb up and down on the field quick enough. So they put me on the riser. It was like I was riding out in a chariot. And I remember being at the 50-yard line. No one was there. They built the stage around me. Then the whole rest of the cast crew, everyone came out to, set everything up. But it was me there, 82,500 people, sold out on Thanksgiving Day a bunch of years back. And I look up and I said, okay, well, I made it. That's it. There's nothing higher, better than this. Enjoy it. I did the show. It was amazing. It was perfect. And then literally like a year or two later, I get a call. Hey, Charlie, you want to play the Olympics? I'm like, is this a joke? What are you talking about? Yeah, I'll play. And they're like, yeah, it's literally in 2 weeks. It's like, there's no way you could get visas and the whole thing. But yeah, I'll play the Olympics. Of course, I'll play the Winter Olympics. Funny thing is, they got the visas. I thought it was maybe like a bar outside of the Olympics, or maybe it was like an after show, after party kind of thing. But no, it was the actual Olympics. I was a co-music director, band leader, and it was my friend and I who jumped on with a major artist, Gala. She's a big European pop star. And it was just me, him, two dancers for a couple tunes. It was the three of us, 6 million on TV, 30,000 live. Putin was up in the corner. It was the post-medal ceremony of the night. And it was like, oh, okay, I guess there's bigger and better. So since then, I go like, you know what? Never say never. Let's try to get the Summer Olympics. Let's try to win some Grammys, do all that. And that's where we're at today. I'm just really trying to push all the DRMAGDN cyborg drummer DJ music on the Escape from New York City record. So
I'm excited for you, my friend. And those are moments that you look upon that not a lot of people in our generation get to do.
No, definitely. Especially jazz musicians too. Like I grew up a jazz guy. I grew up like playing pop and rock initially. And then I got into, really modern EDM and music and that kind of stuff. When Skrillex hit, I really dug the aesthetic. I really dug the aggressiveness of his production. It almost sounded like it was a metal band with dubstep and trap step and all the genres that he created, and really pushed. So that what got me really excited. And it was actually on Warped Tour that I got the idea to really do it. I was touring with, I was help band leading and playing with an artist called Out of Sight. And he had a hit called Tonight Is the Night back in the day. It was on the radio, it was on Z100 a bunch, and multi-platinum, Warner Brothers.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Was it part of the X Factor? Because it was da 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 da. I remember that Pepsi commercial well because it was the best of the best. It was Beyonce, it was Ray Charles, it was Britney.
Yep. That was
one of my favorite commercials of all time.
Yeah. His manager was actually friends with the whole Pepsi crew, so got him there. He got him on the X Factor. And then we wound up doing like Lollapalooza headlining. We did Warped Tour. And it was on the Warped Tour. I mean, basically I get the call, and this is a funny call. This is a funny story too. I wound up getting the call. I did some of his records, in the studio. And they're like, hey, he needs a band live, so let's put a band together for him. Music director calls me. He's like, all right, so Charlie, can you be my cyborg drummer to do this gig? I'm like, absolutely. What's that? What do you want me to do? And he goes, I need you to run tracks. I need you to DJ. I need you to, hype the crowd using a mic. I need you to sing backup. I need you to play drums and just make sure everything goes well on tour. You got it. I'm in. Totally cool. Hang up the phone. And I go like, crap. I don't have a single piece of electronic gear because I always wanted to get into electronics, but I never actually got around to it. So I said yes. I better learn this in a week. I ran to Guitar Center. I bought like hundreds of dollars worth of electronics. I sat there with the manuals and YouTube, and I didn't sleep for an entire week. I couldn't even turn it on initially or plug it in. And then eventually I sat down, got it together enough for the first rehearsal. Second rehearsal went great. Third rehearsal went great. First gig was Bronxville College with Out of Sight. And then the second gig was opening for Bon Jovi.
Okie dokie. Now that is just the biggest jump I've ever heard.
Absolutely. And by then, everything went really well. The computer went down from the DJ that night, and I had everything backed up on my pads.
Thank God.
Each individual section, if you wanted to loop a section, I'd be able to loop it. And then I go to the next section by hitting the next pad, and literally saved the day at that gig. Went really well. And then as I toured more and more with him, I got more comfortable with the electronics. I did a Warped Tour. That year we were on the dance music stage, where there were a bunch of dance artists, DJs, dance pop, rappers, things like that. And I hung out with the DJs, and I sat down with them, and they really showed me what they were doing. I started to gain more respect for electronics and Ableton, and they gave me their sounds and plugins and, the samples that they use, and showed me what to do. And then one day it clicked, because I'm an organic, drummer at heart. That's what I started with, and played everything, did Pro Tools for audio. But I sat there one gig. There were like thousands of people there. Everybody was going nuts for this one DJ. And it hit me. It was more of a Woodstock kind of a vibe, where normally like a band will play for an audience, and it's like band and audience, stage, audience. When it's EDM, everyone is in it together like Woodstock, but it's just modern electronic music. And I freaking fell in love with it at Warped Tour. And then years later, at each year I got better and better at production. Years later, I got better and better at writing. And then I just called up all my friends who were big guys in the music industry, and there's Not Alone. There you go.
Awesome. We'll get to that in a second, but I gotta say, it would have been interesting to hear your take and merge with your DRMAGDN with Bon Jovi on It's My Life.
Oh, God. Great song. Great song. And the cool thing is I've actually opened for him twice. I did a headlining gig in Puerto Rico at the Coliseum there, and then I did Bamboozle Fest, which was the Out of Sight gig that we did. And he can bring it, man. His voice is that voice. In Soundcheck, really amazing. The band is really nice. They're really awesome dudes. The drummer's actually endorsed by some of the same companies that I'm endorsed by. So he was really cool. But what an artist, what a band, such iconic, songs. And it was basically whenever they play, it's straight through just greatest hits. And the crowd goes nuts. Amazing.
I agree. I told Desmond Child when I interviewed him, and when I told him that Bon Jovi was the first concert I ever went to without my parents. So, and then having my brother Aaron and I jump up and down when we were both, he was a senior in high school, I was a freshman in college at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, formerly Sprint Center, and we were jumping up and down for Born to Be My Baby, and You Give Love a Bad Name, and Keep the Faith, all the major ones. So it was like, and then hearing by the end of the song, of course, Living on a Prayer, because that's what Desmond always says. They have to close it out with Living on a Prayer, and no one in that stadium was a rocket.
Yes. And I remember Bon Jovi saying early on in interviews, because I'm a big Bon Jovi fan. I'm originally born and raised in Jersey. I live in the West Village in New York now, but Bon Jovi was always real near and dear to my heart. He didn't like singing in that high key. And he's like, damn it, I have to sing this high. Ah, crap, but it's a giant hit. And he has to keep singing that high key even to this day. So killing it, though.
It's like basically Bruce Springsteen not singing Born in the USA.
Literally. That's it. Born to Run, the whole thing. We got some good music coming from Jersey. It's not bad at all. But yeah, that would be a dream collab down the road too, and we'll get down to that, I'm sure. But yeah, Bon Jovi would be a cool one.
Alrighty, so in addition to the X Factor, you also performed on several shows such as the online series AOL Sessions. You also performed on Today. You also did TRL and then also The View. So what were some of your favorite memories performing on these programs?
I mean, that's the kind of thing about those programs. It's almost similar to like the Giant Stadium gig or the Lollapalooza or the Warped Tour or Carnegie Hall. Like, when you play these kinds of stages, you can't you've undeniably made it. You know what I mean? So I was just some kid in Jersey playing the drums in my basement and having fun, with my local musician friends and everything. And I got better and better and better. And then I was a really good networker. And then I got a really cool look with the mohawk and got really good at branding and digital media and, the whole thing. And eventually all of that came together for me playing these giant gigs. So like the Today Show I was at the NAMM show, representing my companies, which I have way too many to mention, but shout out to Pearl Drums, Pisces Cymbals, Evans Drumheads, Vic Firth Drumsticks, PreSonus Preamps, Audix Mics, Dream Ears, In-Ears, tons and tons more. But I was out there representing them. I get a call back in New York. I have to cut the trip short in LA to come back and last minute music direct the Melisizwe brothers, their new act on, are they Universal? I forget which. They're on a major label, but they just won like a bunch of the Nickelodeon shows and that whole thing. So I came back, I put a band together, on the plane over, and I landed just in time for rehearsal. I ran any backing tracks that needed to be run on Ableton. We rehearsed, got the full backline production, and crushed it. Those kids, they're three brothers. They sound like the Jackson 5, but they're three kids. Unbelievable vocals, great songs. But those moments are just like, you're sitting there, 4 a.m. I was just in LA. I had to cut it short. Everything worked well. I got the first flight out, and I'm sitting in the studio at the Today Show going like, that's crazy. What a life I'm able to live. The other moment was like Carnegie Hall, which we kind of skirted over before. As a kid, I always wanted to play Carnegie Hall as a jazz musician because I was like, that's the biggest thing. I studied jazz hardcore and the whole deal. And I just remember going, you know what? There are guys who are doing jazz. They're amazing. They're crushing it. They devote their lives to it, and they can barely make ends meet. They have to teach a lot. They have to do, a lot of stuff in Europe. They're barely home. I'd rather do pop. I'd rather, do rock and music that really has melody that you can grab onto. And then I was able to be successful in that field. And then years later, I get a call with the Mohawk to music direct the International Photography Awards every year at Carnegie Hall. And I put a jazz band together for that, the top jazz musicians. And I play the entrance, I play the ending, and we do all the walk-ups and walk-offs and cues. And it's me with a mohawk and a tux.
I'm like thinking back to the days of Florence Foster Jenkins. I don't think she would be happy to see a mohawk. No, it's amazing how times have changed.
Times have changed, and you know what? It's one of those things you kind of pinch yourself. It's like I'm playing Carnegie Hall, doing the thing that I wanted to do, and I got there in a weird kind of back-end way that I wasn't even expecting. Now that gig is kind of my jazz hobby gig, which is still a giant gig. I still get to play jazz with different people every once in a while, and it's kind of a nice little departure from the pop, the rock, the classic rock, all the bigger artists that call, and then obviously my EDM stuff with, DRMAGDN, Cyborg, Drummer DJ. So it's cool.
Well, hopefully, Carnegie Hall, you play the EDM stuff, because if they can get people, it'd be fun and to shake up the crowd.
It would be. It's usually an older crowd for some of those venues, so I have to kind of wait until we get the ages to the thing. But it'll happen. It'll happen soon.
All righty. So, what have been some of the challenges that you've faced throughout your career, and how have you overcome those obstacles?
Oof. You know what? That's a really, really deep, awesome question. And I'll say that as an artist, okay, I'll say this, because I've produced tons of major artists. I've music directed tons of major artists. I've played drums for a ton of major artists. And being on that side of things, you help make their dream come true. You help their vision happen. And it's really, really cool to do that. But once you step into the artist's role, that's where the question marks happen. That's where, wow, is this lyric good enough, or do I need to tweak it more? Is this melody too close to this other song? Is this arrangement, as loud and punchy as this, mix from this artist and that artist? And that's where the center of the biggest challenge as an artist is to balance perfectionism with the fear of failure of not being good enough, and making sure you dot your I's and cross your T's in the business. So those are three things I'll get into, but it's mainly, I would say it's, overcoming self-doubt on certain things that you actually know in your gut that are really, really good. Just like Not Alone. I mean, I probably did 30 mixes of that until it got to that level. And at that level, it sounds perfect and great. But after I mixed the next two tracks, I had new tricks from some producer friends. I almost wanted to go back and redo Not Alone. But I was like,
I gotta say,
it's perfect.
I gotta say this. That song, Not Alone, should be single-handedly on different StreamYard platforms, on different everything, on different stuff. Because the thing is, it's just amazing. And I'm like, seriously, I would love to have that song handed to Bobby Bones, to Elvis Duran, to Ryan Seacrest.
That's it. Fingers crossed and all that. I mean, I got my amazing PR team that hooked us up, Trend PR. Shout out to Hunter, Angelica Taylor over there. I got Momo Entertainment, Morgan Perry, who's been crushing it out in LA. I have an amazing team of, a bunch of my manager friends, Sean Velasco Mills, Rob Hoffman. Just really amazing people that are just friends that I work with. And it's really, really cool that I'm able to kind of have the artistic vision. I also have the business know-how since I've done it for all the other artists. But, being able to release my own songs now, because I've done it for so many other artists, I'm just like, I pick whatever singer from The Voice or American Idol that I want. And I have a really cool track that I created myself. And then if I want to throw some, cool musician friends on it too, I can. It's just a surreal thing that it's working so well. And I could even do something like this, on a Friday right now, Friday, April 2nd, which is the release date of Not Alone. So definitely check it out on Spotify and YouTube and all that. So.
Alrighty. So basically you put together a really cool rogues gallery for Not Alone. Velvet Revolver's Jeremy O'Shea on vocals, and you have Matchbox 20, Matt Beck, who also worked with Rob Thomas himself. Yep. You also have Spencer Ludwig from Capital Cities, and then American Authors, Dave Rubin. And I've actually interviewed American Authors when they were just starting out, so it's a really cool full circle moment.
That's really cool. Man, that band is, all these bands and all these artists are so amazing. And the coolest part is just, Jeremy O'Shea's voice has this really amazing, rich, rock, deep, guttural tone. And the dude is like a model, an actor. He's done all this amazing stuff. He's into, really healthy living and the whole thing. And having him on it, I ran into him through a friend at his studio and everything, and we really hit it off. And we started to kind of want to collab on different things. And his voice just is this track, and that's the coolest part. Matt Beck, he's been a friend for years. I've worked with him on a ton of different artists and bands and live dates and tours and everything. Amazing. He's like the Swiss Army knife of music. He plays every guitar, mandolin, pedal steel, bass, electric guitars, amazing tone, keyboard, piano, synthesizer. He music directs Rob Thomas too, and he's played with like Rod Stewart and Matchbox 20. He's played with everyone. And he's the nicest dude in the world. He's done a bunch of Broadway, too. I've done some Broadway, too, like Rock of Ages. But we've met, over the years, and we worked together forever. He was the little secret weapon. But then last minute, I was like, all right, the bass sounds great, but it needs a little bit more grit. And that's when I was like, you know what? Dave Rubin is a friend of a friend. Let me hit him up and see if he's around just to track the bass. He did the bass, and I was like, best day of my life, American Authors, sounds like this tune. It's really cool to get his voice on the bass. And the very last thing, I was like, I programmed the trumpet part and the whole thing, and it sounded great. And I was like, wait a second. Capital City, Safe and Sound. I toured with those guys when we were on the road with Out of Sight. They were on a bunch of the bills, and I remember Spencer. I met him. He's a really cool dude. It's like, you know what? Let me hit him up. Hey, dude, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Can you jump on the track? Absolutely. He did it in a couple days. He played that trumpet line, and it really made the song just be amazing. And it's really just, the lyrics are all about love, community, brotherhood. All the people that really got me through the past 3 years and definitely the past year. And the music video that's coming out in 2 weeks, there's a lyric video that drops on Tuesday the 6th, and then it's going to be Tuesday the 13th is the full music video. And it really shows all these memories, moments, adventures of me hanging out. Like, I happen to run into like Jason Momoa, and yeah, like, so we were hanging out at Marquee together. Steve Aoki's in the video. Zed is in the video. Who else is in the video? Gala, who I played the Olympics with. Like, all these people I happen to hang out with, and then all my friends and all the different people that came out to support. And it's just the most fun in a video ever. It's like, it reminds me of like the rock and roll video from Skrillex, of him just like hanging out and touring and all these awesome people having fun. Same deal. And it's just so fortunate to see it on screen, and it mimics the lyrics of the brotherhood community, positivity, getting through it all. So, yeah.
Awesome. I have a couple other songs I want to talk to you about.
Awesome.
I want to start with 3-Page Letter.
Oh, now that's a tune. Now that is a tune. Now, obviously you heard it, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that tune is almost my answer to The Weeknd. Can't Feel My Face and Blinding Lights, and there's just that ethereal cinematic sound. And I remember programming that initial keyboard and going, wow, this is a real soundscape. This has a real something there. And I remember sitting there going, this needs to have a really amazing, poignant lyric, and it actually is developed from years ago when I actually broke up with an ex at that time. I started the lyrics, and then the lyrics, got developed and finished when I broke up with another ex later on. And the video is, it shows, and same thing with the song with the lyrics, it shows sadness, it shows heartbreak, it shows there's this thing that happens, and I think we could all feel it now that we've gone through this whole shutdown. There's a lot of loss in life, whether it's people that have gone before us, whether it's, losing your lover to, whatever the reason, whether it's, just having to be alone for a while because of the shutdown. And it was a real moment. I remember just walking around New York City and it's completely empty. And I started taking these scenes on my iPhone. That's an iPhone 11 Pro, that I just took scenes, time lapses of the city. And I would have those scenes just kind of flowing through. And I would have, me come into frame and have the scene slow down. And then the scene speed back up into the fast-paced time lapse. Because what happens is during loss, during sadness, the world slows down to a stop. And you're stuck in it for a minute. But the minute that you are living life in a happy way, in a positive way, life just speeds by. It's like seconds, or hours. And then if you're in, difficulty and trauma, every second is like a decade. You know what I mean? So I really tried to show that in the video of, time slows down when, you're having these issues, and then it speeds back up. So it was like a really powerful, poignant song. I got Jerome Bell to sing it from American Idol and The Voice, really good friend of mine. And he crushed it. He sounds like Sam Smith and Seal put together. Who else is on that? My really good friend, Vin Landolfi, who I've gigged with and toured with for years. He's played with Demi Lovato on the track. And then my buddy, Nate Jones, who has a resume that's longer than anything. Beyonce, Stevie Wonder, all this stuff on bass. And he was so happy that I turned his slap bass up because I really love that Charlie Puth track, Attention. And I really love The Weeknd and Dua Lipa. So, and the funniest story is, I finished the track, the lyrics are amazing, the song is amazing, the videos are amazing, and I sat there and I listened. It's like, well, I need to get it mastered. My normal guy who does Zed, he did the Zed's Clarity record, was on vacation. It's like, crap, who am I going to get? I was like, you know what, let me just look up who did Charlie Puth, Dua Lipa, The Weeknd. The same guy did all three. He's in New York. His name's Dave Kutch at the Mastering Palace. I hit him up. He's like, this song is amazing. I'm in. He did it within days. So I have the guy who did those tracks do that track. And he also did Not Alone. He also did Justin Bieber. He did Diplo. He did he did Despacito. So,
oh yeah, that's a big song.
So I just feel really cool and honored that was the first really big win. We hit over 100,000 plays on Spotify in that one. I think that's up to 152,000 YouTube views on just the music video. So it's a real winner. So that's a really cool tune. Yeah.
Alrighty, say less, be more.
Isn't that true? Say less, be more. Actions only matter. Say less, be more. So this was like a little tag on, toward the end of the year last year, I wanted to get out of the whole 3-page letter, the real vibey stuff. I dropped another EDM track called Zombie Gorpedo. It's literally just an EDM, big room tune that sounds like Martin Garrix's Animals. And then I sat there, it's like, I need another track for the record that's pop, that's happy, that's really big at the EDM fests and everything. And I was like, you know what? I've got this idea, this line, because I was noticing at the end of the year, as my social media numbers and as I was getting more popular and as people were starting to really like and listen to my stuff a lot, just got verified the other day on Instagram, got verified on Facebook the other day. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Years in the making. I just hit 158,000 followers on Instagram. So it's like surreal. But as you're doing that and you're like thinning the herd and culling through your followers and the whole thing, seeing who's either unfollowed or who's not liked your stuff or who's actually not showing up and actually supporting you in a tangible way, or just talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to show up to this, or I'm going to go hang out at this. It's a friend who just doesn't show up, a friend or a family member, whoever it is. I was getting kind of sick and tired of it, so I decided to write the lyric, actions only matter, say less, be more. And the song is about that. And I actually, I'm a really good friend with Ale, who is an amazing singer also from American Idol and The Voice. And her records are now...
Ali Vincent? I'm so sorry, Ali Vincent.
Oh, no, Ale Guercio. So she was on a couple years before, and she actually won, I think, Star Search. I forget which. She was like the most promising child star of the year of whenever.
Are we talking about, I'm sorry, when we talk about Star Search, there's two arrows I recognize. Ed McMahon and Arsenio. Are we talking Ed's version? Oh, I love that version.
Yes, that's same here. But Ale has a bunch of hits out now, and we did a gig in October together. And I was like, oh man, her voice, she sounds like Christina Aguilera. She's got her own thing. It's kind of warm tone, really amazing riffs. I got to get her on her track. I just finished Say Less Be More 2 days before the gig. I was like, you want to do it? She's like, I'm in. Days later, she was in the studio. We clapped together. We did backup vocals. We did the whole thing. And I did it so quickly. I sent it to Dave Kutch, the same mastering guy. And he goes, whoever mixed and mastered this track, I can't even do anything more with it. It's perfect. Just put it out. And I was like, but you should mix and you should master it. You should no, it's perfect. Literally just don't even worry. It's perfect. Oh, so that's literally me alone, drums, me alone, production, and then just me and Ale just doing it, so it came together really good, which is funny because the lyric is say less, be more. We didn't say much. We just did the thing. We did the thing.
Awesome. And then this is an exclusive, guys, for Jake's Take Pod conversation, because before we got online, DRMAGDN wanted to say, you want to talk about a new track, which I am so happy because I love when you combine, there's nothing more than I love than combining rock with orchestra. And this is a new song that you're going to talk about. It's called, if I remember correctly, Get Tough Like Rocky. Yeah, just Get Tough. I didn't want to put Rocky in the actual name, but Get Tough. And this track is the next single that's going to be coming out in May. And this is actually the biggest single on the record. I mean, we've already hit, I think it's 4.4 million plays and views across all platforms currently. And that's before Not Alone comes out. It just came out today, right now. So that's a good look right this second. Get Tough is going to be the biggest sports theme, period. This is crazy. The lyric is Get Tough Like Rocky, enough excuses, baby. That's the hook. I have tank tops and exercise line
of merch that goes with it. Manny Cabo, who also has an amazing podcast that it's, I think, the top 5 music podcasts on iTunes right now. I think that's what's up. But he's actually from The Voice and La Voz, the Spanish version. He was also a host. He was a judge on La Voz. And he's got this amazing rock vocal, really, really gritty. You know, he's really ripped. He's got tattoos, really, really awesome dude. The nicest guy, lives right around the corner from my place in Jersey. And he sang this hook, and I was like, this is the song. I program the rest of the track. I call up my buddy Dave Egger, who is actually the strings, the Grammy-winning strings on Viva La Vida from Coldplay. You know? And he's on the record. I got Danny Flam to do all the horns from All the Lights, Kanye featuring Rihanna. And that's
you're picking up some really incredible musicians, my friend.
Yep. And Al Carty's on the track also. He's the music director of Ed Sheeran, David Guetta when he tours, and Alicia Keys, and he's played with Beyonce, everyone. And he's around the corner from my place in Jersey too. He's a really good buddy that we played together for years. But this track, it's full orchestra, it is EDM, and it's got real rock, tribal drums and everything. And it sounds like ESPN, Monday Night Football, NFL. It sounds like Nike. It sounds like the Olympics. And right now, fingers crossed, we're trying to hit everyone. It's crazy. So
do you think, I'm going to ask you a very honest and humble opinion. Do you think that it could take out Carrie Underwood's and signature Sunday Night Football thing?
That is amazing. That is an amazing track. I don't want to, personally. I love Carrie Underwood. I think it's an amazing track. But this, with the talent on this song and what it is, and what you hear, it sounds like a combination of like Eye of the Tiger, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, maybe a little Holla Back Girl in there, maybe a little bit of Can't Hold Us, All I Do Is Win, Lose Yourself, Eminem. It's got a little bit of all that in, and it's 112 BPM, which is the perfect workout tempo. It's in the right key for it. You know, everyone is going to be singing along to it. It's a really catchy hook, and the orchestra is just the whole thing. We're going to give her a good run for her money. That's all I'm going to say.
All righty. So who are some of your dream collaborators? And like you singers, songwriters, producers that are on your wish list and want to do it with, and how would they enhance your sound?
So the reason why I got into this whole thing as a solo artist is Skrillex and Zedd, those two. And it's cool because Deadmau5 put Skrillex on. Skrillex put Zedd on. So there's like a little thing. So any three of those artists, the OG is Deadmau5, amazing EDM, one of the legit founders of what we're doing basically in the modern realm for these big, rave, festival, EDM fests and everything, the ultras and all that. Diplo, Skrillex, Zedd, they all bring their own voice. And they also all have pop sensibility and have all crossed over in the pop realm. Because I love EDM, but I really still love a good hook, a melody, a lyric, and a song. So that's been my big center. I'm trying to do real tribal drums on top of EDM tracks that are really good songs too. That you can say, hey, these are all potential hits, if not hits. So those are the main EDM people. But when it comes to the pop and the rock, man, Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, I would love to get that guy on a track. Matt Bellamy from Muse. I mean, Muse is my favorite rock band out there, and they combine the cinematic, the rock, the orchestral, the EDM, the electronic really well. God, I mean, those are some artists and everything. And then there's just like any of the really major pop artists and pop stars and everything, any of the people that haven't done this kind of a thing before. Everyone has kind of dabbled a little bit in there. I mean, I remember John Bellion was a really amazing R&B artist, and then he actually worked with Zedd, and then it gave him a whole new thing. I would love to
Beautiful Now? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Like Lady Gaga would be another great one. Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, those kind of people too. They've already kind of done the thing already in the current inception, though. It would be cool to find that one wow, you know what? I didn't realize that Ozzy could sing an EDM track. You know what I mean? Things like that.
I was thinking Pink. I really was thinking Pink with you.
Pink is amazing. Pink is unbelievable, and my buddy is actually her drummer, Mark Schulman. She is one of the most talented stars out there. That would be a good look. Absolutely. I totally agree with Pink.
Absolutely. All right. So we got to start winding down our conversation.
Cool.
So you have posted a lot on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. What's your favorite home social media, like your main platform that you interact with your fans the most on?
Good question. So I have a whole matrix of things that I do with the whole social media and the digital marketing and branding. The center four, I mean, it goes basically YouTube is for everyone. YouTube is my biggest. Spotify is for audio and is my biggest streaming platform. And then it would go Instagram for interacting and branding and the whole overarching, where I really live the most. And then honestly, TikTok, as much as, we all love to hate it and hate to love it, is the newest of all the platforms that I've been really starting to push. Things have been going viral on that, which has been cool. But the combination of those four, it's at DRMAGDN, DRMAGDN. And that's across every single platform. But I actually do really well on SoundCloud too. I think I'm up to like 1.5 million on there. So there are a bunch. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all of the things. So yeah. But my favorite would probably be Instagram to interact with. It's the easiest to post the pictures, post the stories, and DM back and forth with real people. So.
Totally agree with you on Instagram. All right. So if you had the opportunity to meet with musicians who want to advance their career in the recording industry, what advice would you share with them?
Shut up and just do it. Say less, be more. Because what happens is, this is something one of my old teachers said, I want to say this correctly. Shout out to Tommy Igo. He's one of my old teachers and everything, who basically kicked my butt into gear as a musician and an artist and a drummer in a very real way and knocked me off the whole, I'm a good drummer. He really got me together. If you didn't do it, someone else just did, and if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So it doesn't matter if it's not the best thing in the world that you put out first. It doesn't matter if it's the best photo. It doesn't matter if it's the best lyric or song. Just start releasing the stuff that's good and keep on releasing. And by song 7, by song 10, by song 20, by song 50, everyone's going to be like, this is a great artist. And all of a sudden, you're going to be the next, big thing, because you build over a long period of time slow. It's slow and steady wins the race. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's the deal. Don't doubt yourself. All you people who are getting into it, you're actually really good. And you have your own thing. And your own thing is better and different than everyone else's thing. And once you figure out how to get that thing and really let that out, for me, it's the mohawk, it's the EDM, it's the cyborg drummer DJ, it's the drumming, it's the production, it's the aggressiveness, but it's also with the pop songs and lyrics and the sensibility. Get your own thing, and once you get it and people start to respond, go in 1,000,000% on it and keep on re-upping and be awesome. That's what's up.
Okay, so one final question. Where can my audience find you on social media, and more importantly, where can they find your music?
Okay, everyone go to Spotify first, because Spotify is the most important thing, and it's DRMAGDN, DRMAGDN. From there, follow, like, subscribe, YouTube. Same thing with, Spotify. Make sure you click all the little hearts and, follow and the whole thing. But also, go to TikTok, go to Instagram, and go to any other social media platforms. I'm on all of the things. I'm even on things in Japan and China and overseas. So I'm worldwide. I have a really good digital distribution company called Symphonic that I have a deal with. So they get me everywhere. So shout out to them too. But that's what's up.
Alrighty, guys. If you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB. Elyachar. Once again, Jacob Elyachar, Jacob. Are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Visit my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Once again, Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. So get this. We are celebrating our 10th anniversary. The blog that started all, jakestake.com, is celebrating 10 years.
Woo!
Thank you so much. And to hear my take on DRMAGDN's new music, including one of my favorite songs of 2021, Not Alone, head to jakestake.com. And also, guys, please consider heading to PayPal to keep jakestake.com and my platform up and running. It's just me, and it's just me editing. It's just me writing, getting questions, booking the guests for people like DRMAGDN to come on. I need all the help I can get. So please, guys, if you consider, please head to PayPal. You will have the link of Jake's on the WordPress, and also on the podcast. Wow, DRMAGDN, I gotta say this. You, my friend, are one of the most talented musicians I've ever had a chance to have a conversation with.
Thank you very much, Jake. I really appreciate that. Awesome.
And seriously, guys, I cannot wait for Escape from New York. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, no, each track is its own hit, and I'm very, very happy that there's so many talented people involved, and I get to do the thing. I get to be DRMAGDN, and, hopefully this year, get back on the road, tour all the big festivals, maybe win some Grammys down the road. That'd be awesome.
Amen to that. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, have a great one, everybody.